Erika Jayne, as always, still playing the victim. And as we know, she has received a contract to come back to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which I'm sure she will be signing because she allegedly needs the money, sure. But she also still wants that 15 minutes of fame. So let's see what's going on with Miss Erika Jayne. This is according to Reality Blurb. It says Erika Jayne addressed speculation that she joined the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills knowing about her husband Tom Girardi's money scandal and revealed how she and Tom began their romance. In 2020, Erika left Tom amid accusations that he embezzled millions of dollars from his clients. Speaking on Bravo's Hot Mic podcast, Erika addressed the theory that she came on the show knowing about the money scandal. She says, "You got to be crazy to do that. It would be so much easier to have been quiet and wealthy over there," she explained. It would just have been a really bad legal story as opposed to putting yourself out there on the housewives and everything else that comes with it over and over and over again and not being able to get away from it. She then shared one of her quote lowest times. Erika, stop lying. Your answer makes no sense. And I'm going to tell you why, in my opinion. If your answer made sense, then Thomas Girardi, who 100% knew what he was doing, we'll say alleged because, it's the legal battle is pending. So allegedly, knew what he was doing. He knew he was embezzling money and intimidating people and all of the things that he's being, charged for and indicted for. He knew. And he still chose to put you, therefore by proxy himself and his business, on the line, on Front Street. So just because, just saying, oh, if I knew, then I wouldn't have gone on reality TV doesn't make any sense because he definitely knew, right? And then look at everybody else on reality TV. The hubris, the pride, the narcissism. They go on these shows and for whatever reason, they think I'm going to be the person who's committing fraud that doesn't get caught. Teresa and Joe Giudice, Jen Shaw and Coach Shaw, Monica, she was a big fraudster too. Who else is there? Apollo, anybody, all Mauricio, his agency is being sued left and right. And the list goes on and on, not just housewives, but in general. Do a simple Google search, criminals, frauds, felons on reality TV. The list is probably endless. So saying that just because you justifying like I wouldn't have never gone on reality TV if I knew this, girl, stop lying. You, just like Thomas Girardi and just like every other person who is committing massive scale of fraud, has some level, in my opinion, of delusion and narcissism where they think they are the smartest person in the room. They can talk their way out of anything. They will never get caught. There are no consequences for them because they've been getting away with it. And then they take their fraud and they go on these TV shows, and a couple of seasons in, they're being busted and they're being hauled off to prison or whatever the case may be, or they're settling out of court or whatever it is. If your excuse made sense, then nobody committing fraud would go on reality TV or be in the public eye. And that simply just isn't the case. Now, do I think she was an active participant? I don't know. Do I think she knew? Hell yeah, she knew. Erika's dumb, but she's not stupid. In my opinion, of course she knew. But without question, she benefited from it. And without question, the way she moved afterwards was morally and ethically disgusting, reprehensible. Absolutely disgusting the way she treated the quote alleged victims and then suing in court and doing appeals over earrings that she knew she would never give back just to prove a point, running the victims through all this stuff, and how she said, I don't give a damn about anybody but myself, and how she dares to consider herself a victim in this, but yet she's still, in my opinion, profiting from and has access to the victim's money. Somebody is facilitating her life. There is some slush fund out there facilitating her life. We know she got $500,000 from her Wells Fargo account in Florida. Whose money was that? Thomas Girardi's quote friend isn't just giving her $500,000 out of the kindness of his heart or out of his own pocket, in my opinion. I think Thomas Girardi had contingency accounts with with the client's money, and Erika has access to them. And I think the moment she does get fired from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she's going to tap into them even more. So girl, bye. She then shared one of her lowest times. I was going to pick up one of my antidepressant prescriptions at the CVS and walking by my face on the cover of, I don't know which outlet it was, that said, "How did she blow $25 million?" shared Erika. I knew I recognized the face. That was me. And I thought, my God, it had really become something else. And unless you really do TV shows, unless you do reality TV shows, you really don't know what it's like. Erika, shut up. Like, please shut up. Nobody is buying this woe is me story. You lived high on the hog with blood money, with victims' money. And then when it came to light, when there's no question whether or not you knew, you still tried to re-traumatize and re-victimize these people. Shut up. And also, if you really were so distraught and upset and depressed and sad over being in the spotlight, why are you still in it? Nobody is forcing you to be on reality TV. Nobody's forcing you to be on Beverly Hills. Nobody's forcing you to lip sync and steal people's choreography and steal people's vocals on your Vegas tour, which was a flop, by the way. Nobody is forcing you to be a fraud. Nobody's forcing you to do this. You could, quite frankly, very easily just go away. You had at least $500,000 that Tom set aside for you, that his friend gave you. Richard Wilkie's, not Richard, what was the guy's name? Jim Wilkie's or something like that, whatever his name was. Like, a lot of people could live very happily off of $500,000, but that's not even the tip of the iceberg of the money you still have access to. You live in a multi-million-dollar home in West Hollywood. You still have a glam squad. You still have a PR team. You still have designer bags, designer jewelry, clothes, Range Rovers, all types of cars. You still have access to a lot of money and a lot of privilege. So nobody is asking you to be on TV, sweetheart. You're the one who is thirsty and hanging on by a thread and doing everything you can to stay in the spotlight. Nobody is asking you to do this. Again, you are not the victim here. Complete delusion. Complete delusion. Erika compared it to castmate Kyle Richards facing her marital issues in the public eye. This is happening, you guys, said Erika. I remember just being cornered in a effing ugly stairwell and just being, asked all these questions on my day off, just trying to go to the grocery store, and it just doesn't feel good. She claimed this is one reason why she and Lisa Rinna are so close, because they understand what it's like to have it hard as housewives. No, you are so close because you're both evil as hell. You're both liars, fraudsters, and scammers, and you both only care about yourselves. So the only reason why you trust each other is because the only person a snake trusts is another snake. But at the end of the day, you're still a snake. Anyway, Erika also took a swing at her critics. When I see someone that's very interested in others but very protective of theirs, what are you masking? She asked. Or you're either masking something or you have nothing, and I will remember that, and I will swing at you when I feel like I'm ready. May not be today, may not be next year, but because that stuff hurts. Shut up, Erika. Addressing her past, Erika said she couldn't make it as a performing artist in New York City, and as she was divorced with a small child. With my family's support, I moved to Los Angeles. People think I up and left. That's not true, she said. It's a game of attrition. That there's so many no's. You have to stick it out until you get the one yes. Once in LA, Erika got a job at a Beverly Hills restaurant called Chasen's, where stars, entertainers, and dignitaries frequented. The second version of Chasen's had investors, and one of those investors happened to be a man, a lawyer named Tom Girardi, who I waited on. He was very kind, said Erika. Everybody loved Tom. He was a good customer. He was a good tipper. He was really sweet to the valet, to the busboy. So basically, Tom Girardi was your mark, but you didn't realize you were also a mark. Girl, bye. Erika said she knew Tom well over a year before they even went on a date, and after their first date, they were never really apart. It began around Christmas time when Erika told him at the restaurant, "Did you hear I was single?" And he said, "No." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, do you want to go out to dinner?" And I said, "Yeah, give me a call sometime." And I wrote down my number, said the star. The next day, I received a call from a secretary, Charlene, saying, "Can you meet Mr. Girardi for dinner tonight?" And I said, "No, I cannot. And if Mr. Girardi wants to take me out, he can call me in advance himself. Thank you very much." And I hung up the phone. I didn't hear from Tom. Is this the same secretary that Tom Girardi allegedly was having an affair with and had a love child with? The FBI guy? You guys remember that? Remember it was one of the top local FBI officials. Turned out he was the son of Tom Girardi's ex-secretary that he had a sexual affair with for years, to the point where he was giving this woman money and he bought her a house. And the house now I think was about valued over $3 million. And the LA FBI guy, I forgot what his name is, looks just like Tom. Again, this is all alleged. I'm just saying what my opinion is. Looks just like Tom. He was originally stationed in like Alabama or Mississippi or something. And then once everything hit the fan with Tom Girardi, he then got transferred to the LA office. And shout out to the LA Times. They broke the story because clearly that's corruption. Clearly that's conflict of interest. You know, someone whose mother had a sexual relationship with Tom Girardi and was also employed by him. And this man, the FBI agent, could have been Tom's love child. You know, I'm not saying it is, but he could have been. He could have been. Is now the person who was overseeing the investigation into him. Take everything else out. All of that is conflict of interest. That's corruption. And the LA Times broke that story. And once that story broke, they removed him from his position. But my question is, how did he get that position in the first place? Is it that the FBI just doesn't do their own due diligence within their own ranks? Or was somebody else helping him get that position to help cover up for Tom? Because don't forget, Tom Girardi did not work in a silo. Men like that don't run million-dollar Ponzi schemes and fraud and corruptions by themselves. You know, they are aided and abetted by institutions, by systems, and by people, whether they are executives, judges, lawyers, law enforcement, whatever the case may be, who look the other way. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. Payoffs, you know, it is what it is. It's basically organized crime, just in a business suit. But they're nothing but thugs. No different than a gang, no different than the mafia. They're just a bunch of bullying, intimidating thieves and thugs. They're just wearing business suits. And we just call it, quote, white collar because they're wearing business suits. In the streets, they would be a gang. You know? That's really what they are. Anyway, according to Erika, he came to the restaurant a week later and told her she was ignoring him and not taking his calls. I said, "No, you haven't called me. You had your secretary call me." He's like, "Well, are we going to dinner or not?" I said, "Well, this is what I was waiting for, was for you to ask me." And we did, she continued. "We had a really nice time, and we just continued our relationship on from there." She said they got married within a year. At one point, she told him that she just moved out of her place and she needed to find an apartment. I mean, this is how to bag a guy 101. I just moved out of my apartment. I need a place to stay. He goes, "Well, you know, there are a lot of bedrooms in this house. You could stay here until you figure it out if you're tired of sleeping on your friend's couch," she said. I did. I think I stayed in his guest room for like 3 weeks till he was like, "Now, Erika, come on." So she kept her job as a cocktail waiter until Tom expressed that he didn't want her to work, that he wanted her to be with him. That old, "oh, my lease is up and I have nowhere to go" routine. Girl, Erika knew how to bag him at least. She knew how to bag him. So, Yeah, crazy, crazy, crazy. But I want to know what you guys think. Are we tired of Erika Jayne Girardi on our screens? Or I'm going to be honest with you. I personally don't really like her because of the whole Tom Girardi and the victim stuff. However, this past season, without Lisa Rinna, she was more enjoyable when she was with Garcelle and Sutton and even Crystal. Them having a time, them having a kiki and a vibe, she was way more enjoyable. Do I still think a lot of what she said was a bunch of crap? 100%. Her whole storyline was basically just one big marketing campaign for her spinoff, Bet It All on Blonde on Peacock and Bravo, and also her Vegas residency. Her entire storyline was just one big marketing campaign for that. So I'm kind of torn on Erika. I personally, if she went away, I wouldn't care about it. Like, I wouldn't miss her. I don't need her. But I do think she was more enjoyable without Lisa Rinna. Do I think she's still lying about her knowledge with Tom Girardi fraud? Hell yeah, she knew what he was doing. She knew he wasn't up to snuff, but she didn't care. As long as the money was coming in, as long as he had power, as long as they had access and influence, she didn't care. She didn't care. She told us, I don't give a damn about anybody but myself. She said it and she meant it. So, what do you guys think about Erika? What do you think about her being rewarded? But again, Bravo and NBC, they tend to reward bad behavior if they can monetize it. They rewarded Teresa Giudice's bad behavior. They reward, now they're rewarding Erika with spin-offs and, all of this stuff. But nothing's new. Nothing new. They tend to reward bad behavior. They gave Kim Zolciak, who was very problematic, her own spinoff. Portia Williams, very problematic, her own spinoffs. Like, they reward this type of crap. So it is what it is. But put it down below. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's move on to